This is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is the One Other Thing, Season 3, Episode 1, buddy.
Wow.
Welcome back, man.
Well, yeah. I feel like I never left.
It's been a long time, actually. It is, what is it, February 7th?
It's
February 7th.
No, it's past that. It's February 10th.
It's February 10th. Boy,
Jeez.
living in the past.
I know.
So we're late as usual. Yeah, no surprise there. And a big change, you know. No video.
Yeah, the people have spoken. They can give a crap what we look like.
Absolutely. I think I just said in the beginning, we got the faces for radio.
Yeah. I tried it out just to see if it would stick, and yeah, no one really cared. So all of our listens, I mean, I say 99% of our listens, not views.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I've seen this, buddy. I can't say I fault anybody, but, you know, I'll say this. If there's an uprising.
Yes.
We'll put the video back on, but I really don't expect it. And what I really find hysterical is I'm looking where the camera used to be.
And you're like, you've been trained.
It's been such an effort to do so.
Yeah.
But now I get to look at you and talk to you.
Yeah, now we can actually have, it feels like, you know what? This feels like we're going back to our roots. We're going to have like a normal conversation.
I kind of agree with that. And with that, you know, just want to say welcome, everybody. You know, we've missed you. I hope you've missed us, but if this is your first time, you know, welcome to the show. This is where Kevin and Sean are going to, we just kind of gave you an example. That's about what we're getting. And for those of you that are longtime listeners, man, can't thank you enough. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome, definitely.
So a lot's gone down, you know. We stopped early December.
Yeah.
And I like that schedule, actually.
Yeah,
and
take the holidays off, yeah.
You know, we were thinking late January, then, you know, kept on living our lives.
Well, and I did get sick. So.
Yeah, you got sick. That actually sucked. So you had a couple COVID scares basically. Because let's face it, folks. Anytime you get sick in this day and age, you basically are like, oh fuck, I have COVID. I'm dying.
Yeah. Now that I've been sick, every symptom sounds like COVID.
Yeah. Exactly. Whatever happens, it's, oh shit, I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm dying. Yeah, as it turned out, it wasn't
one
COVID.
Of those.
Yeah.
Nichols and I had one of those. We went and got tested, and they're like, "You're fine. You're just sick. Suck it up, Buttercup."
It's basically they gave me some antibiotics and said you're fine.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Life's scary.
Yeah.
Pandemics are not any fun. I'm giving it a bad Yelp review.
Yeah, and it's not worth the money either because I got the medical bills today. And, it was over $1,000 that they're saying you're responsible for.
It's ridiculous to be healthy. I don't know. I can't afford it. It's just out of control. But, I mean, honestly, still trying to wean myself of the news, still failing fairly miserably. But the news is pretty miserable.
Yeah, it's like today I just saw a headline that they said they found no evidence, any phone calls between Trump and the White House for the January 6th insurrection.
Surprise,
just like that Saturday Night Live skit, ain't nothing going to happen.
Yeah, well, it was because he made him on his cell phone.
Yeah,
I mean,
they had burner phones.
But yeah, I mean, nothing has happened. I mean, honestly.
Nothing's going to happen.
It's
Teflon Don, man.
It's just amazing. I mean, I really don't even want to talk about politics, though.
I know.
But I'll say it this way. Everybody should be ashamed. And I'm a patriot. And, I mean, I don't even want to get started on the GOP. I do not even want to get started on, I don't think Republicans know what Republican means anymore. They're certainly not for this country.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah, I saw this. Actually, I saw Republicans, a former Republican, he's retired now, said that the Republicans aren't what they used to stand for anymore.
No, absolutely not.
They're in for themselves, pretty much.
Yeah.
They don't care about people.
It's, I mean, again, we're goddamn, why are we going down this rabbit hole, folks?
No,
but since we're here, we're making the argument that Washington is corrupt, which, yes, Washington is corrupt. We all know this. The world's a horrible place.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, we know this.
Yeah.
But we're making the argument that Washington is corrupt, so we're going to send in Donald Trump to clean it up.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
what? Like, the man, everything he says is a lie, or it's just, I'm dumber for having heard it.
Yeah, I don't understand. He's become the de facto, like, everyone's like, oh, he's our leader now, and, we're going to worship this guy, like a false idol kind of thing. It's the weirdest thing.
I can't explain any of it. I cannot explain any of it, but I mean...
He's just a damn person.
There's so many. Like, this is the problem with the news and why it's so just tragic, is if I bring up my news feed, I can scroll through 20 stories and be dumber for having read each one. And these are the people that are representing us. These are the people that are supposed to be the adults in the room. And this is not me attacking Republicans. This is all parties I'm attacking. Yep. Wow. Like, why hasn't anything happened? I mean, apparently you can just break laws. Like, it's cool to storm the Capitol and kill police officers, because that's okay. And
it was just political discourse. Just that's all it was.
I mean, it
wasn't really. They weren't storming the Capitol. Did you see that?
I'm going to draw my own little line here, and for the record, I can't begin to go on a rant about how much I respect the men and women in law enforcement and rescues of any kind, emergency services. At the same token, I'll be the first one to point out how our system is broken, especially when it comes to police. It's not. I'm not blaming police in any way, shape, or form. The system itself is fundamentally broken and needs some serious repair. But that said, I'm drawing a big, bold line. If you think it's okay to storm into the Capitol and kill police officers, you and I have nothing to talk about, because I'm telling you flat out, I don't care how you spin it, that's not cool. And Ashley Babbitt, I mean, again, this is radical, but I firmly believe this. If Ashley Babbitt had been black, her body would be on the steps to the White House.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's just a problem I'm not okay with.
Yeah.
So, again, when I read the news, it's just so bad, because the Lauren Boeberts and the Marjorie Taylor Greene sound like everybody else these days. And not for nothing, if you don't know those two are batshit crazy, wow, I got nothing for you. That is, like, Charles Manson would meet Marjorie Taylor Greene and be like, that chick is crazy.
She's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, crazy.
She can be the death of us all.
So that's me not talking politics, because really I'm trying to be a better man, and I don't know how in this day and age, because law and order doesn't seem to matter. The rules just don't seem to apply. And, I mean, I'll say it this way. I'm pro-revolution, but not the one that's going on. Not ignorance versus science. Not just hate versus compassion. I'm pro the poor should eat the rich. I'm sorry, man. The wealth disparity is too much of a problem. I honestly think that's one of the biggest problems, and I know I'm a socialist or all sorts of ists, or maybe we'll throw an ism at me. I don't know, but I'm not saying the government should run everything. I'm saying there should be a cap on personal wealth. We should make a system that still rewards hard work. But you know what? I'm okay with, like, a Bezos retiring at 23 and opening up that spot for everybody else, you know? Or if they want to work for free, cool. That's awesome. But a cap on personal wealth and distributing the wealth around. So yes, once again, I know some people are going to do nothing with their lives. They're going to literally just exist, and we're going to pay for it. But not for nothing. The we were talking about is that 1%, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I really am.
Bringing them along.
Yeah, and they're all going to leave our country. Okay, if you don't support the country, and I mean that literally.
Yeah, but the most successful countries out there are these socialist-style countries.
Go
So
figure.
Yeah, with free healthcare. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're in the top of the list, like Canada and Sweden, and they're all like free healthcare. And
I read something the other day, and I found it fascinating. I have a coworker who's from Costa Rica, and somehow I said, "Boy, I'm ignorant. Let me read a little bit about Costa Rica." And they had done away with their army and took all the money they were doing with that, and they put it into education. And because of that, their literacy rate is something like 97%. 97% can read. And it made me think, boy, I wonder what the U.S. is.
Yeah.
And I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say, it was like, I found it alarming. Let me look it up, actually. Let me do that right now, because I don't want to, since we're talking about this. I'll say it this way, though. I was alarmed because I found it way too low. Because, I mean, not for nothing. How do you live your life if you cannot read? Like, that's hell with the joy of reading.
Yeah.
That's tragic to me.
That is tragic.
88%.
Wow.
Which you might think, 88, that's good. Yeah, maybe if you're taking a little test, that might be good. But it's not good when you are...
Yeah, how many
you're talking about 12% of us can't read.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
There's 330 million of us. Let's just call it 300 to make it easy.
We're not talking preschoolers aren't on this list, right? This is all like adults.
Million. I'm presuming it's 18 and above. I don't honestly know, but Yeah, I suppose we'll give you preschoolers. I'm looking at you, even though I'm looking at you thing, even though we're not on camera. But, but yeah, I presume it's adults only.
Yeah,
but
I hope so.
But yeah, I found that whole thing fascinating. So
yeah, it's depressing, is what it is.
It is. I mean, and honestly, I love reading, so it's like double depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which percentage are you part of? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. I should read.
That was a low blow.
I know. It's hard to read with that. There's so many cat videos that are distracting.
That's awesome. That's literally what Mickles watches before she falls asleep. But anywho, we should take a moment.
Yeah.
And reflect on all of this.
Okay.
A few moments later.
And we're back. Sorry about that, folks.
Break.
What can I say? All we got to do for the food to arrive is start a show.
That's
pretty much it. Yeah. But we were pretty much landing our plane when it came to the politics anyway, and that's for the best. So it's
one thing I was going to add about the politics was I was going to say that there's no good news ever. It doesn't really exist, really.
Not lately.
So that's why I believe in Reddit, the front page of the internet, because you'll get, some humor mixed in with your news. So
that's fantastic.
That's my recommendation. Try to get most of your news from Reddit. You'd be better off.
That's scary too, though.
It is scary, but the comment section is what makes it all worthwhile.
I have to admit, actually, I don't. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not cool like that. But I do read the news articles now include tweets, and the people's comments are. The internet is hysterical. That's all I can say. They just say the funniest goddamn things. Yeah, there's that. So I definitely understand it. But yeah, the news has been grim lately. But we'll see what happens, man.
But the days are getting longer.
The days are getting longer, and that is happy news, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm sure you saw this in the news. How bad is this year getting when...
my cat just jumped on
the day before Groundhog's Day, a groundhog dies.
I saw that. Yeah, that was bad luck.
So what's that mean?
Yeah, I mean, so
7 more years of winter.
That's probably not a good omen.
No, that's a bad sign. Where the groundhog's like, oh, 1 day left here, like fuck it.
It's funny how I suddenly know things, and at some point in life I'm going to know some fact, and people are going to be like, "Wow, he's so wise," and it's going to be, "No, I read some stupid article that a groundhog died," and then. Because of that, I now know that the average lifespan of a groundhog is about 3 years. So they don't last all that long.
They don't. So we keep them in a hole and make them do a dance.
It's a weird ritual anyway.
Yeah. Now I really feel bad with that groundhog and Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I mean, how they teach him to drive a car?
I know, that was awesome.
That's great.
You tell him to check your mirrors.
But yeah, we got some weird rituals. But I mean, yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, sad that it died. But I mean, 3 years. That's the average lifespan. They don't last very long, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
Well, aren't they rodents?
I think technically they would be. They're freaking adorable. I'll say that.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, technically rodents.
So I forget. Oh yeah, I think the one from Groundhog Day, when Pasaki, whatever the heck his name was, he said that it's going to be 7 more weeks of winter, or 6 more weeks. I don't know. I forget the prediction. Is it six more weeks?
6 more weeks, or 6 weeks till spring. I'm pretty certain it adds up to about the same.
It does. So it's like the silliest prediction.
No, yeah, exactly. He's never wrong.
Yeah, he's never wrong. In 6 weeks it's going to be spring.
That's a great example.
Or not
by
be
the way,
spring.
Ned Ryerson.
Yeah, Ned Ryerson.
Whoever that actor is,
Yeah.
I've seen him in a ton of things, and I like the guy.
Yeah,
he's Ned Ryerson.
Yeah, he's always gonna be Ned Ryerson.
Yeah, I see him, and I'm just like, Ned Ryerson.
Yeah, I love that guy. Bing!
It's just so good. So yeah, good movie.
It is a good movie. I almost watched it this year again because I usually like to watch it like near Groundhog Day, and I saw a bird or something.
Yeah, I don't have. I mean, again, I don't really have annual movies.
Oh,
I mean, even Pulp Fiction has been a few years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do have annual movies I like watching. Some Christmas ones, A Wonderful Life, and stuff like that.
Christmas Carol. There's that. I will typically watch. I didn't watch, read, or listen to A Christmas Carol this Christmas. That is completely unlike me. I normally do one or multiple of the above.
Yeah, I even put that cool little quote in that one Christmas
Absolutely,
episode.
and I love it.
Your favorite Marley, right?
Exactly, my favorite Marley.
Yeah.
Bob's coming second to Jacob.
Yeah.
Is
your second favorite Marley? I don't know.
Yep. Shout out to my old boss Jeff from a lifetime ago. 'Cause God, that was one of the best jokes I've ever heard. Yeah, anyway, so in order for the show to end at some point, though, we're going to have to actually get into our thing. So before I do that, though, I wanted to talk about something I'm hoping to do in Season 3, and that is to give people a sneak peek of what is coming next, because we're going to kind of have themes to our shows.
Yeah, so I guess we're hoping that Season 3 won't be like Season 1 and 2. We're like, you know what we should do next week?
Yeah.
Now we're going to start doing, this is what we're going to do the next few weeks.
Exactly.
You know?
So in that case, the teaser is going to be for our next show. We're going to talk about games we recommend per genre.
Yes.
If you're new to gaming.
Yeah, or new to that genre.
Or new to that genre, okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
Kevin's making the rules, so I'm just abiding.
Rules. Yes, abide.
I like it.
The dude.
Yeah, look forward to that. That'll be interesting.
Yes.
I have not started my list yet, obviously, because I'm pretty much just learning with the rest of you. But,
yes.
but that's the plan, so that's what we'll be talking about next week. And I say next week, I mean whenever we do the show next, which actually, in all honesty, will probably be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get our groove here, get our momentum.
I just say it's easier for me because it's less set up to do an audio rather than video.
I don't have to do hair or makeup.
That's true. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just amazing how much no video makes a difference.
Yeah. Just so people who don't see the video, just want to let you know that I'm way more handsome than I used to be and clean shaven.
Fantastic. Well, I just want everyone to know I'm giving Kevin the bird.
Yes.
The whole time.
The whole time. Yeah. He hasn't stopped.
That's awesome.
It's great to do shows and not have to wear pants too. That's just
it's just awkward.
It's my life now.
There's a lot of windows in my dining room too, so it's just awkward.
Yeah, but poor neighbors.
Anywho, before we get into the what are you watching, what are you playing, what are you listening to?
Yep.
If I were out there and I was like, boy, did they ever stop?
Yes. Please stop.
Or it's like, hey, I would love for them to talk about this. Or, I would just like to tell them, hey, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, well, you give us show ideas, tell us all. Yeah, that'd be a nice change. You are awesome. Those please stop. Yeah, that's getting old.
Or know what you could actually? It is it is episode 1 of season 3. You know what you could ask us?
What's that?
Something no one's ever asked before.
What's that?
What is it? It's a story we've never told.
We have not told the story of how we got our name of our show.
That would be the
one other thing. Yeah, we have not told the story.
We're not that big time yet.
No, because we have a rule that we have not. Well, this is the first time we discussed the rule of why we haven't spoken about it.
Yeah, what is that rule?
The rule is really silly. There's people that know us that listen to the show, but there's a bunch of people, we can tell by the stats, that don't know us that listen to the show. We need one of you guys to ask us, what is the one other thing? And we'll tell you, because there is a story.
There is a story.
It's a very interesting story.
You too could learn
yes.
what the one other thing
What is the one other thing? What was the genesis of the toot,
Oh, that is great. Where did toot come from?
Where did toot come from? Well, I know where toot came from.
That's great.
But
the one other thing.
The one other thing specifically, that phrase meant something. Or mean something.
So if I wanted to do all these things, maybe I wanted to ask that question exactly.
Yeah.
How would I do it? Would I just scream it into the air?
You could scream in the air, or you can go to tootcast.net, or email us at toot@tootcast.net. That's how you know.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I paid good money for
friend.
that domain, just by the way.
Actually, am I mistaken? Are we no longer? And I'm sorry, friends. We may no longer be on Spotify.
Oh, I have not pulled off Spotify yet.
Oh, okay, not yet. We're still.
No. I was thinking about. Well, I was listening to all sides, and it's like maybe shouldn't participate in cancel culture. I don't know. I'm like
point.
stuck.
I do not like mob mentality. I definitely don't. But I mean, not for nothing.
I read the more I learn, because I'm like, this is what everyone else. Because what Neil Young does usually is what I do, the same thing. But
I have to admit, I generally stand with Neil.
Yeah, I do stand with Neil, but I don't know if you get more of the facts. And there's liberals coming out, like Jon Stewart said, this is free speech. It's, he wasn't, if you put it into context, it's not as bad as we're making out as it sounds. So I want more details before I just pull off the Spotify.
Sure. I can appreciate that too, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because yes, there's definitely, freedom of speech is a fine line, and we do have to, we have to basically allow folks to say things we don't agree with. To me, it's all about form and setting. It's who's listening. Like Fox News, I'm looking right at you.
Yeah.
where did you find the news? Like, how did you get that on you?
Yeah, you don't tune into Joe Rogan because you want the facts. You just want to be entertained. Because that's not, he's...
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, not for nothing. I mean, I'm a big Howard Stern fan, and I mean, and not that I've listened to him in years, sorry, Howard.
Yeah.
But
I do watch his YouTube videos, which are hilarious still.
Oh, do you? Yeah, he's right. I used to listen to him every day. But I don't go to him for my news. Like, I do not consider him an authority on such things.
Yeah.
Boy, did you happen to see, and boy, you swear we're digging into the politics hole, but there was footage of Fox News waiting for the jobs report to come out, and they're just forecasting how bad it's going to be, and they're downright giddy, the newscasters, and then it lands, and it's up. It was like 400,000 plus.
Yeah.
And they were like, again, it's. I'm sorry, red folks. I know you think you're Go USA, red, white, and blue, but they're actually rooting, against the country, and it's just they're at the Olympics, and I'm sorry, you're hanging with Putin, and it's like I know you don't think that's the way it is, but again, I'm going to go back. The majority of this country right now, when we reenact Red Dawn, they will not be screaming "Go Wolverines." They're just not going to be.
Jesus.
So, anywho, scary times.
It is.
That's it.
So our website's still up, and I will be, posting an episode shortly. This episode shortly.
Can't wait. I can't wait. So what have you been watching, buddy? It's been a while.
I've been watching. So
what is time off?
During my time off, yeah. So what was it? The Foundation.
I've got a whole list. And Foundation, what are your thoughts on Foundation?
It was exhilarating. It was
exhilarating.
Yeah,
nice.
It was first it sucks you in the first couple of episodes. You're like, this is just it's a great show. I can't wait for season 2, which is supposed to come out this year.
Sweet.
And I just I'm a fan of Isaac Asimov now. I'm not saying I wasn't a fan of his before, but I never read any of his stuff. I'm only kind of like peripheral aware that he created the word robot and he had some sci-fi stuff, but I didn't really get him.
You made the word robot.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty badass.
I can never hear that one enough.
Yeah.
Like, before him, there were no robots.
Yeah, there's no robots.
Wow.
Yeah, he invented that.
Holy shit.
So now think about when he wrote this, in the starting in the 50s and on and 60s, the stuff that come out of these brains is like maybe they do know the future.
You remember the U.S. robotics?
Yeah, the modems. Yeah, they used to put on modems.
Yeah, that was the company, and his stories was U.S. Robotics. But I'll say this: having I want to say I've read the Foundation series, but the reality is I've listened to most of it on audiobook. Yeah. There's a very specific order. You need to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to look up the order to read them, and it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
Because I tried reading Foundation once, and it was just very boring. But given the greater context, it was like, oh, now I see why this is important. And now all these little subtle things that you would never pick up on now made a huge difference. So that's my recommendation. But I am with you 100%, my friend. Foundation is fantastic.
Yeah, the little pieces, because they did it. It was like a puzzle. Like they were giving you little pieces here and there, and you didn't know how things were threaded together. I thought it was the daughter on that planet in the beginning. I don't want to give any spoilers. Yep. And I'm like, no, it's not, but there's a relation there in the end. And you're like, so it is threaded all together. And then the actor, I forget his name, but he's Richard Harris's son, who played the lead scientist that predicted all the what's going to happen. Yeah. That's Dumbledore's son. The first original Dumbledore's son. Richard Harris was a great actor. And if you close your eyes, he has almost the exact same voice as Richard Harris.
Oh, nice.
He just has a commanding... When he's in a room speaking, you're not talking. You're listening to him speak. He just has that presence, that commanding voice, and I just love listening to him. And he's also... you start watching the other show I just started, was Expanse. He's in that too. Same guy. He's same exact actor. Same exact actor. And I'm like, I'm like, okay, he's not playing himself, so he's an actor. He's a totally different character.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a totally different person in Expanse. He's kind of like a weasel. So I'm like, I kind of like this guy. So I'm a fan of his now. I don't care what he does now. I will watch anything he's in.
I hear you. Actually, you know who I was like that for a little while because he was in some bad movies, but I think the guy's amazing. Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That dude's amazing.
Yeah,
he acts like he can just be anything, and it's like, wow, that's freaking amazing.
He plays a good weasel though, especially in Game of Thrones.
That
Right?
was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. But
yeah. So Foundation was like, it was a breath of fresh air because, science fiction is really my bread and butter, what I like to watch.
Absolutely.
And
hands down my favorite genre.
Yeah, just because there's so much like potential there for good stories.
Yeah, well, you and I actually, Amazon, thank you. We like what's called hard science.
Yes,
it's got to be. You got to be able to explain yourself. Like if you shoot a laser beam, like how is it? How did you do that? Like what physics are involved here? You need to make it at least plausible.
Yeah, you can't hear each people speak in a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
There's no screaming in space.
Yeah.
I like Newtonian physics. I like it when a spaceship has to, can't just turn around, going warp speed in one direction.
He's looking at you, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Battlestar Galactica. And even Expanse, they did it right. They were like, they had to inject stuff in their system to turn the ship around.
You're going to love that show for that reason.
It's like the human body cannot survive what they're doing. So they explained how they could, but in like Star Trek, I love Star Trek. Trust me, they have some awesome stuff in it. Yeah, they just turn around, they just stop the warp drive, turn around, go the other direction. They don't care, They move at what's called the speed of plot wherever they go.
That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. They just go to where the chick is, and then Kirk makes out with her, and then they're on their way again.
I don't hate it. I just do like the hard science better.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying I hate it.
It's awesome. But I agree. If you like sci-fi and if you like sci-fi, you should already know who Asimov is.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you should definitely check out Asimov as general.
Yeah.
But check out Foundation. It's really good. I think that's Apple TV.
It's a point where there's really hardly anything good, unlike the broadcast channels.
Actually, I'm going to talk about one now that I think might be on a broadcast channel. No, maybe not. I have no idea what it's on, to be honest with you. It is seriously my favorite show right now. And that is, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of Texas Roadhouse because I love that restaurant.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
And they line dance there, and I like what? And they play country music, and it's like what? And even though that's everything I abhor, their food is great and super cheap. So Yellowstone is phenomenal. It is my favorite show on TV. I think the characters are just the absolute best. Kevin Costner plays the shit out of Kevin Costner. And
it's on a streaming channel.
It's
Paramount Network, Peacock.
Peacock, that's what it's on.
Yep.
And it is, like I said, I think it's my favorite show because of Beth Dutton. She is the best character. She's just got balls of steel, and it's awesome. Just fantastic. But I do have to say. And I think I'm a bleeding heart liberal now. God damn it, here we go. They go to rodeos.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, the whole thing of a rodeo I find cruel.
Yeah, it's an odd...
Every part of it to be cruel.
Yeah.
I doubt the horses like it. I know the cattle don't like it. Yeah. And I find it weird that people are finding pleasure in these animals, just abject fear. Yeah. Like, I guess I don't have to say weird is the word I use there. I think tragic is more like it. Like, this is not cool. So I think I'm just a bleeding heart liberal because, I I led into this with Texas Roadhouse. Like, yeah, believe me, I'm eating a steak. It's just I don't have to play with my food, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it seems cruel. I've not watched this, but you said Hannah had another season.
Hannah had not only another, but the final season.
Yep.
And I gave it like 10 stars for especially the way the first season ended. It was so exciting and awesome.
First season was great.
And the second season, I thought it was good, but not like good as the first season. It wasn't
as good as the first one, I agree.
And they came back and they knocked it out of the park for the third season.
And Hannah's not like 45 now?
No. It's just one solid story. She's, definitely looks the same age.
Good.
It's
a problem with kid actors, man. They grow up so ridiculously quick.
Now, she's probably 30 in the first season. You just didn't know it. It just looked like she was a teenager. But the story wrapped up, and it wrapped up with a bow. It's like there was what's going to happen now? No, you knew what was going to happen.
I think we should. I think actually, you know what? There's so much stupid shit going on in the world anyway. I think we need to pass a law about shows in general. I think like 5 seasons max.
I agree.
Just get in, tell your story, and land your plane.
Yeah.
Even though I like big series, I like watching lots. I like binging something, but it's like Lost comes to mind. Mickles watched Lost, so therefore I watched Lost.
I liked Lost, but I agree with you. If that was like 2 seasons shorter,
if no one watched it, if no one had watched it and hadn't blown up like it had, they had a story there.
They stretched out too much,
and they just stretched it to where they forgot what they were even doing.
Yeah,
and
it had a few moments of genius and a few hundred more moments of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and they never answered a single question.
No,
it was terrible. In that regard.
Yeah,
But yeah, and I don't recommend it. I knew by season 2, I'm like, all you've lost is time.
Yeah,
that's what you lost.
I would say the first couple seasons were good, but then it starts getting weird and stupid, and doesn't make sense.
It just didn't make sense anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like character arcs. Like another show like I'm watching is Halt. Well, I finished watching *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Yeah, we like that.
I highly recommend it, but the last season, I don't recommend the last season at all. Not even. I would say watch season 1 through 3. Stop. Don't watch season 4. Season 4, they took all the characters you loved and ruined them. Just ruined them. I'm like, why? They took the cool guy who, gave himself up in the first season, went to jail and stuff like that, and it made him into this pansy who owed everybody money. And I'm like, you just ruined. I liked about that show?
He became a lumberjack.
Basically. But when I saw that show, you're like, who is this jerk getting in the way of our main characters? You hated him. But then you're like, okay, he just gave up everything for everybody. I love that guy.
Speaking of Lumberjack, actually, you watched that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did watch the Dexter.
And?
The Dexter, shows are like 1-2 seasons too long.
Yeah.
Dexter definitely needs to be this, and the last 2 seasons of Dexter were just removed out of existence.
So it did not redeem itself?
It was no point. It was absolutely... The only good point is that the protagonist, the bad guy that was in there, which is another serial killer. There's always another serial killer now. Always. That's pretty much he's the guy from Shawshank Redemption, the cop, or the
guard.
The guard, yeah.
Cregan.
Yeah, Cregan from Highlander. Yeah, he's always Cregan. I think he was great. It was worth seeing him because he was a great bad guy serial killer.
Look at that! You just found the thread, by the way. He was in Lost.
Yeah, he was in Lost. I liked him in Lost, though. He was awesome in Lost.
I liked him in Carnival. I think he was in Carnival. Carnival was a good show. I don't know if you watched that. That was on HBO. You should watch Carnival.
Carnival.
It was an old one. It was good.
Yeah.
So that boy, you got some shows in.
So
the Dexter is. I knew it was not going to be good.
I mean, I would say it was. Parts of it were good, but the whole premise, the plot, the ending. I thought the ending in the first show was like, how can we make it worse? They made it worse.
That's great.
They made it worse.
I'm telling you, you couldn't redeem yourself from that anyway.
And I was telling my wife Charlize, I was watching. I'm like, in the first episode, I'm like, they're actually foreshadowing what's going to happen in the last episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm telling you right now, this is going to happen exactly like this, and guess what? It happened.
You're a prophet.
No, it's not prophet. They just I hate shows that force feed you foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I hate that.
You need to be subtle with it because it's like a magic trick.
Yeah.
If we see what you're doing, it's not any fun at all.
Yeah.
It's when you surprise us later, and later on we can follow the breadcrumbs. It's like, oh.
Yeah, when every main character repeats a phrase that's gonna, is going to be repeated again in the last episode. You're being force fed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hate it when they treat the audience like we're idiots. I hate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dexter was not worth watching. And the last season of Dexter wasn't worth watching. First few seasons of Dexter was awesome.
Dexter was fantastic right up until it wasn't.
Yeah.
That last season, god damn.
Yeah, they just went off the rails. And
Mix feels that way about The Sopranos, and I'll be honest, I'm just extremely disappointed in the last episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
They should have just shot him and been done with it.
Yeah, I know.
Just to have some guts.
Yeah. But now I've seen Dexter. It's not the worst ending I've seen. I've seen worse.
Dexter's bad ending.
Yeah. No. No. Even the new one is just as bad as the original. It's
fantastic.
That horrible.
I guarantee it's still better than Enemy.
Oh no. Enemy is the best. Everyone should watch Enemy. Everyone.
The movie.
Jake
Enemy,
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I should know.
Enemy.
I don't know what it is. The guy seems likable, but oh my god, I do not like movies he's in.
I've seen a couple where I do like. I saw one where he was like a really jerk cop. And I kind of liked it. I don't know what movie it was, but I don't know. I find the movies where he's not being the hero and he's just being a jerk, I like.
I love The Big Wave and Day After Tomorrow, but it's just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what else? So yeah. Halt and Catch Fire. It was worth watching. It was. I'm glad I've seen it. It was actually well done.
I've got two more.
Yeah.
We watched Wheel of Time.
Oh, what'd you think of that? Because you said you were gonna let me know if I should watch it.
Yeah, I gave you all the books because there's like 75 of them.
I know.
It's a big story.
I actually use them to hold up my bookshelf.
Yeah, they're good for that. That's about all. The series it made me think of Dune for two reasons. One is Robert Jordan entirely read Dune. And I mean, I know everybody has read Dune because
It was like the
Dune.
grandfather of a lot of sci-fi.
So good. I'm rereading
Star Wars too.
I'm reading it now, but I read so slowly. I'll be reading Dune for literally the next year. But I'm okay with that. It's a great story. So the similarities are just appalling almost. But you know, it's Paul Atreides with a sword, basically.
Oh.
But that said, it reminded me of Dune because if you hadn't read the books, I have no idea how you'd have any idea what the hell was going on.
Well, according to the New York Times, just about everybody's read the book.
It's popular, yeah. And it's funny because when it started, Mickles and I are watching it, and I'm like, I don't really remember much of the story. And then we start watching, and I'm like, oh, okay, pause it because, well, they're about to go to the city, and there's, and it's just floods of, like, tons of information because there's just so much lore there. And I don't think I know any of it, but, the story starts going there, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, pause it because I got a whole, 2 minutes of information to share about whatever they're about to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it looked cool. It's got the Gone Girl in it, and I'm sorry, she'll always be Gone Girl to me. I don't know what her name is, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And
the blonde girl.
It's funny too because she's not an unattractive woman by any measure, but no, she's Gone Girl. She's batshit crazy.
Yeah, she's
like I know you're acting and all, but no, you convinced me.
Yeah. Yep. You convinced me that you weren't acting.
Yeah, like I'm buying it.
That I should be scared.
It's just not worth the risk, regardless.
Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it.
So Wheel of Time.
Did you see the Squid Games?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about Squid Games.
I'm not sure if we have because it's been a couple months since we've been on the show.
Well, Squid Games was freaking fantastic.
Did you watch it with in English with subtitles
No,
or all Japanese?
No, I learned to speak Korean. Or whatever. I presume it's a Korean show, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you watch the English dub and subbed in? Because there's a couple different ways people watch it.
Oh, I think we probably did both.
Because I got to tell you, it was I watch it in English, dubbed in English.
Yeah,
with English subtitles.
Hysterical.
It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I believe it.
It was hilarious. It totally changed. I hear that you take the movie a lot seriously if it's in Korean with English subtitles, but having the English contradicting the English subtitles,
yeah,
it was hilarious. Because I'm like, that's not what you. But the subtitles, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Whoever wrote the subtitles didn't watch the movie or watch the TV show.
There was a movie called The Killer with Chow Yun-fat, which just that's a whole other story. But I enjoyed it. Just crazy action. And the guy with the English dub, they were two cops, and his partner was named Randy. Except in the subtitles, where he was named Wang. And so, and at the time, Austin Powers was a thing. So, do I make you Randy?
Yes.
So it was just for a while. It'd be like, do I make you Wang?
Do I make you Wang?
But I'm honestly, I've been doing this forever. I prefer subtitles on, like even when it's English, especially if it's British. Actually,
or if you're watching Expanse, by the way, I don't understand a word they're saying.
You need exactly because weird accents. So you need subtitles, but or I enjoy them. But I'll be honest, somebody out there who's deaf, if you're listening to our show, how? But beyond that...
Oh, and second thing, I'm sorry.
Yes. I'm sorry, but how?
And how, yes.
But I'm amazed, I'm even appalled, I'd say, at how far what I'm reading is from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they're not even close. I'm like, what the... Like, did this person... Are they drinking on the job? Like, whoever's... I have no idea how that actually works. Is that voice recognition? I presume so.
I don't know. Actually, I don't... Unless it's like YouTube where they can do that. I think... No, I think someone writes that
Somebody's
stuff.
actually typing somewhere. So, yes, I think somebody's drinking on the job. Because sometimes, I'm telling you, man, like, it's just not... It's not even close to what they're talking about.
Yeah. That's what I mean by the Squid Games, because I'm like, this is not what they're saying.
So
it's hilarious.
Yeah, Squid Games was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest. I have no major complaints about it. It was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah. had a nice twist in it. You know,
Yeah.
it kept me guessing on what's going to happen at the end.
I mean, it was utterly tragic, but I mean, that's what they were going for.
Yeah. And then when you find out who the bad guy was, I'm like,
Yep.
that was actually I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I should have seen it though. I was
I
disappointed
know
in myself.
they foreshadowed it.
was
If you go
just-
back, you're like, oh,
yeah. Should have known.
yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's why I like that. They didn't force feed that into you. They didn't really set up a lot of scenes that said this is the bad guy.
I truly was disappointed. That was so obvious.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't like they didn't. I don't think they spoon fed you that much.
No, they didn't. I'm just always looking for the angle.
Yeah, the angle. What's this about?
We didn't talk about a show that I just can't get enough of. It's just so good. Ozark.
Oh, I've only seen like the first half of the first season.
God damn,
I
the
should go back
first
and watch
season
that.
That'll make you
Seemed
suicidal.
depressing.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's so dark.
Yeah, it's hard. I couldn't watch a lot of episodes in the evening.
The first season is great because it starts. It's like a Black Mirror. It starts bad, and then it just starts digging. It just goes so bad, and then it's like, holy shit, that's bad, and then it gets worse, and that's where they go.
Yeah, so they go all Black Mirror on it.
I can't remember the girl's name, but Ruth in that show is amazing. She's worth the price of admission.
Is she the one that owns a diner, or is she one of the family members?
She actually owns a motel now, but she lives in the trailer, and she's just
I remember.
She's just a badass.
Okay,
basically.
she's the one that as I remember, she's the one that first started. I think stole his money originally.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think, and then he had to come get it back. Yeah, I've seen that far into it.
Just amazing though. It's just great show. And Jason Bateman can't act to save his life, and you know what?
Yeah,
one of my favorites. Absolutely love Jason Bateman. I literally can say love the dude my entire life. You know, going back to what is that? Hogan's Family, Valerie, whatever.
Yeah,
dude's amazing.
Wasn't it in Family Ties?
That's fantastic. That's really great.
Sorry. That's a bad joke.
So I'll say playing for last. We'll spice it up today.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really been listening to anything. Have you been listening to anything?
Me, I've actually been digging a little more into Dead South.
Oh yeah.
And it's like apparently I like bluegrass more than I thought I did, because a lot of their popular songs that you hear a lot on YouTube are a little bit more, I would say, bluegrass meets rock kind of thing, a little more faster pace. But then you start digging in their catalog, and they're all about black lung and working in coal mines and stuff like that. And I'm like, I kind of dig this.
Yeah, see, I'm turning you into like a hillbilly.
Yeah, I feel like a hillbilly listening to this stuff.
My folk is rubbing off on you.
It is. That's what I was trying to explain to Shirley. So I'm like, yeah, it's kind of. So yeah, you're gonna hate it. I said, I mean, because it's kind of like folk, but with a banjo. And
I love a banjo. I really do. I recognize this. I swear, and I have to do this. I have to listen to more Tom Waits, because I'm convinced that the worse you sing, the more likely I am to like you.
Yeah. Actually, I listened to a song the other day because I know you're not a Springsteen fan, even though
I mean, good writer.
So I saw someone on the internet one day and said it's a religious experience to listen to Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen.
It is, but when it's done by the band.
It was done by the band?
Yeah, the band did a cover of Atlantic City. I
That's
absolutely
awesome.
love it.
So I haven't heard that version, but I've heard the Bruce Springsteen song, and I'm like, you know what? It is Americana.
Everybody
It's
does, maybe that's a effect. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's depressing. It's everything I like in a song, really.
No, it's great. Yeah,
yeah.
The band did a cover of it, much better.
Much better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've actually heard the boss do it, but I'm telling you, I just
the boss did it.
You're not the
justice,
boss of
I
me.
think. Yeah, I know, poor guy. But I don't know. He can write a song, but I just he
can. He's great lyricist.
Yeah, but
absolutely talented.
But yeah, so if that's a better song under the band's hands,
people compare him to Dylan too, and I can see why, American songwriter, but Dylan is holy shit. He's that good.
Yeah,
it's just like holy shit good.
Yeah, when I don't know what I heard the other day. Was it Tambourine Man or something?
Yeah, that's right.
And I just it's just something about those early songs of him, that was like, man, this is wow.
The dude's just amazing. The amazing lyricist.
Yeah.
Just honestly, I mean, whenever I go down a Dylan hole and I start listening, because I'm not for nothing, the dude works. He's made a lot of music. You start going down that hole, and you just find one good song after another. I'm going to have to look them up. It's like the New Basement mixtapes or something, but some group got together and found somehow got their hands on these Dylan songs that were like half written, never played kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they made a record of them. I'm telling you, not even kidding. I like half the songs on the record. I'm like, if he just touches something.
Yes. Gold.
Like, somebody wrote a song and he walked by, and I'm probably going to like that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dylan is amazing. I do have one, though, actually. It's funny because I get music from just rare sources these days, but the credits to the movie, or the show Ozark, one of the episodes, I'm like, what is that? And it ends up being a song, and this is fun. Have fun looking this one up. It's kind of a rap song, so I'll warn you. It is by Killer Mike, and the name of it is Untitled. So that's hard to find.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, and it's just that's the thing I love about music, man. I hear something that I like, and you know it immediately, even though you've never heard it before. You're like, what are these? Like, these tones are pleasant to my ears.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's been a while since I heard something I like, though, and Killer Mike Untitled. I dig it.
That's awesome. A couple days ago, I watched a documentary on the Pixies.
Oh, nice.
And after I finished watching the documentary, it was clear by the end that these guys were never popular and still aren't. It's the funniest thing. They're not like this, like...
Well, they're not like Coldplay.
Yeah, they're not Coldplay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can see why Sean likes these guys. Because they were still, even to this day, they're popular, but not like popular. You know, they're not sounding like gold, platinum records over. It's the only people that really get them seem to be other musicians. That their music sounds, they're like, even Nirvana says, once I heard the Pixies, I mean, that's when he wrote "Smells Like Teen Spirit" was based on a Pixie song that he heard.
Nice.
So it's like musicians love the Pixies, but Pixies don't really get that much radio play. A couple of their songs because of Fight Club, but for the most part, you don't hear these guys.
Whereas My Mind took off. But
yeah, that's it. There's really, but they have a ton of other great songs, and
absolutely.
they're weird AF.
Yeah,
this band is weird, and they have a weird history. Francis Black Francis. I mean, I don't even know Frank Black. It's like, come on, make up your name. It was a weird documentary. He kept changing his name.
Bloodhound Gang has a line in one of their songs that says, "I'm not black like Barry White. No, I'm white like Frank Black is."
Frank Black, yeah. That's awesome. And the guy's not attractive, and it just, I don't know, he wrote some interesting music that influenced other musicians a lot, but they never made it super big.
There's so many good songs. They just a remarkable band. And I think I told you early on, if you listen to Pixies long enough, you too will be cool.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's just
it's taken a lot longer than I think you thought.
That's awesome. But their song "Hey" is one of my favorites by far. I have a lot of favorites with them, but "Hey" is such a good song. But
the person doing the documentary, you can tell, was a fan too, because it was a very professionally made documentary. But he's like, they got back, they're together again, and they're writing new music again. And he goes, "Here's the hoping they stay weird." Because because they had a couple years they weren't as weird. And they go, no, that's not when they're successful. They need to be weird people.
I'd say Modest Mouse is a pretty successful band, right?
Yeah, I think Modest Mouse is probably more successful than Pixies.
That's crazy to me. I love Modest Mouse too, though. But they're weird AF as you get. I mean, they're really, they're out there, and their lyrics are fantastic.
Yeah, I think the Pixie problem is that radio stations and record labels never really got them. Mm-hmm. So they were like, we're not playing this crap. We don't even get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. I don't know how like a Pixies is less popular than a Modest Mouse. But don't get me wrong. And again, I'm a huge Modest Mouse fan. I think they're amazing.
They might have been a little ahead of their time though, as well.
Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, people don't appreciate. But then there's bands like and this brings up an interesting point too. Yeah. I would call them Fugazi. Some would call them Fugazi. But there's a band that been around forever, working their ass off, and people don't even know they exist.
Yeah.
And I know that you'd know a couple songs by them, even though you might be like, I've never heard of them. Waiting Room, you'd know, great, one of the best intros ever. And God, what is it? Badmouth. It's been a while. I'd have to look up the names of their songs, but it's just great. Great music, and these bands that it's amazing to me how many bands are out there that working their ass off and never people never heard them.
Well, I was watching South Park the other day, and the theme song. I go, "Hey, Shirley, you know who wrote the theme song? It's Primus."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Who's Primus?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm gonna have to introduce you to Winona's Beaver here."
Fantastic.
And you know what? She's still not a fan.
No. See, that's funny because I would have gone with My Name is Mud.
That's another good one. Yeah.
I would have introduced her to. I was a race car driver, but yeah.
Yeah, I do like Primus, but yeah, there's they have a small type of person that listens to Primus. Yeah.
That's not for everybody.
No, but he can play bass like nobody else. I mean, he's really
he's
good.
amazing.
He's an amazing bassist. But I don't know. I did like Winona's Beaver.
But I actually saw something, and this always makes me smile. But Gore was in an article about something the other day, and I was just like, I'm happy Gore is still around.
Yeah,
like that makes me happy. Why I don't know, but Otis Grungus is still out there doing his Gore stuff, and I'm like, you rock on.
Jesus.
They did a cover of Gore did a cover of "Carry On My Wayward Son," and it was freaking great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was playing that video game, Guardians of the Galaxy. And have you ever seen that?
Timing's perfect. We're on to the playing section.
Ooh, the playing. So I did play and complete Guardians of the Galaxy, which I highly recommend. I might play again at some point as well, but I would warn you that the story is not like watching a Marvel movie where I was like, this is the happiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like all about like people dying and, dealing with the trauma from it. Like family members dying, people's mothers and children and stuff were killed. And it's just like, this is dark how this was playing out. So it was, you could tell this was made with like the older, like not teenager, but like maybe the older 20 to 30-year-old people. And well, me, I'm mentally between in that age.
I was going to say, what happened there?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the right age mentally. So it's a great game, but when there's flashbacks where because you've seen the movie, so the characters are a little bit different, played by different people, but it's the same thing where he grows up loving rock music. So you do flashback scenes with this guy with a mullet, with the jean jacket, cut sleeves and stuff, with a band, in the back,
absolutely
on there. But
patch,
you get to go through his room, and everything is like not quite right. Like I saw a game that's like war TV or something poster, and you can tell it's war games.
Oh, it's war games, yeah.
And there's all these things in this room that's like, oh, I know what that really is supposed to be. But man, all the magazines he had has Iron Maiden right there.
That's
it's
awesome.
like so Iron Maiden got full credit in that game.
That's awesome.
And the soundtrack for that game isn't bad.
It was Circus Magazine, most likely.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So the game was cool, but I would say the soundtrack is pretty badass. It's because it does have everything from Rick Astley to Bad Reputation to it really was a good soundtrack actually. And Motley Crue in there.
I'm so bad at storytelling because I just don't have notes here, but I'm gonna have to look it up. But Mickles just watched, and I ended up watching most of it. But Ben Affleck was just in a movie, something about a bar.
I saw that. I think it was on Amazon Prime. I think he did a
The Tender Bar is what it was called. And the reason I ended up watching it because I was trying to play games and not pay attention to a movie. And I'll be honest, I'm not a giant Ben Affleck fan. I don't hate the guy. I just he doesn't do it for me.
He's only really did one good movie.
The movie was great.
Mallrats.
I enjoyed it a great deal. The soundtrack was what got me. The soundtrack was phenomenal, and it was just God, that's good. King Crimson, "Dancing in the Moonlight" is what was like the big track on that, and it's one of those songs. It's like if somebody's like, "Oh, I hate that song," it'd be like, not comprehending, like it just error does not compute, like not picking up what you're putting down. Great song, great soundtrack to that. So that's something. But what else you playing? Guardians of the Galaxy, and you say thumbs up to that, right?
Yeah, I recommend the game. It's the game it was more action. There is some role playing elements, so you can actually say be as much of a smart ass you want to be in the game, kind of thing. Yeah. But it also affects the story. So if you say certain things, you can make the game harder on yourself.
Okay.
So if you don't buy enough time for Rocket Raccoon by basically being a dork to this bad guy, if you don't distract him long enough, that means you got to take the hard route.
Okay.
So what you say and do does have some effect on how difficult the game is. Mm-hmm. But the game is beautiful, and it's definitely worth playing. But I would say that I was pleasantly surprised by how adult the storyline was, because I'm like, oh, some of this hurts a little.
Did you cry?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay, that's a yes.
My microphone just cut out.
I had a coworker say found out I had a PS5, and they're like, "Oh, have you played The Last of Us?" And I said, "I have it, but I haven't really played it. I played to the part where it says new game."
It's your favorite part of a lot of games.
Yeah, I think I close enough to the
Close enough. Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, you got to play that. It'll hit you in the feels." And I thought of you.
Yeah.
And I said, "I have no feels."
Yeah, he has no feels. You won't care. Anybody's played the game, you know what part I'm talking about. Grown men cry. I cried.
I'll
Sean be like,
whatever.
Get to the gameplay.
Can I kill something now?
Yeah, you know. Because, you don't even get, by the sad part, you haven't killed anything yet.
Oh, my God, yeah. Then I'll be like, come on. Just whatever. Boo-hoo, out of the way.
Yeah,
Gotta kill something.
Yeah, the first thing that dies in the game is your daughter.
Yeah, I'll be like, just out of the way.
But no, I think that's why it's going to be an HBO, I think, TV series. But I think it would make better than, I lost my love of Walking Dead, like season 3.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
You know where I did?
Yeah.
They had the flowers wilt next to his hospital bed.
Yeah.
And then he got up.
That was it.
That was pretty much, yeah.
That's it. I did like him walking around a little bit.
The flowers wilting.
Yeah, the flowers. That was it. That was the peak of the show. Yeah. But I just watched a video today in Last of Us Part 2, and people are still, people hated that game and they loved the game. It's split 50-50.
Okay.
And I watched another video today, and it just like, girl, people. People were saying how the game, the first game was more complex, more layered, and the guy went and explained of how simple the first story was and how much more complex and deeper and more detailed the second game was. And that's another game I want to talk about in an episode where we're going to talk about what game is like an art form.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 is art. It's just well done storytelling.
Not for nothing.
Well done.
These days, every game is, there's a ton of artists involved.
There's a ton of artists. Yeah. But I don't know, but some are more of like an art piece. Like I don't know, these guys are making these video games now that are like, they're moving you, They're like getting deep into like what it is to be human. And it just like, didn't exist 20 years ago.
Well, we got that problem.
Maybe not, maybe 30 years ago.
Movies and media in general is going this way because we're going to be broaching that problem possibly within our lifetimes where, and I'm fully waiting and expecting to go to jail for this, but robots could be a very real thing. We can, apparently this theme today is Asimov and robots, but that could be a very real thing in our lifetime. And we're going to have to be broaching with that whole dilemma of how, if they become sentient, how do you know? What makes a soul,
The Turing test.
The Turing test, indeed. Yeah, how do you prove you're human?
Yeah.
Actually, we saw a movie where somebody just went to the insane asylum, and it's how do you prove you're sane?
Yeah, we're all kind of crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd be like, if somebody asked me point blank, "Are you sane?" I'd be like, "Nah."
Yeah. Have you seen me eat dinner? Everything is
food
cannot touch. I can eat everything one at a time. That's just crazy, man.
I do one at a time. They can touch, but
no, they can't. No,
I'm fine with that.
What are you, insane? They can't touch.
They can caress each other gently.
No, they cannot.
No, there can be some foreplay, but
no.
That's where I draw the line.
No touch.
After that,
yes. So you're obviously crazier than me.
But that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. See how crazy you are?
Yeah.
But yeah, can anybody really say they're sane? So, that's a tough thing, but we're going to have to deal with it as a society, and that's why I think our media is just naturally driving us there, because at some level, we already know that's going to be a problem. Oh, and the thing I'm going to go to jail for is one day I'm going to walk outside and my neighbor's going to be punching his robot, and I'm going to freaking assault him for it. Yeah. And I'm going to go to jail because it's just a machine, but that robot says good morning to me every morning, so fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's why. I know you haven't played the game, but maybe you could watch a walkthrough of Detroit Becoming Human.
I've got it. It's on the PS5, I think.
It answers that question. What do you do when a human beats up a robot? Because they basically treat it as like a slave race in this beautiful video game.
I beat the hell out of that human.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. You make that choice though in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And it affects you in the game. It sends you down a path.
It makes you more awesome.
It makes you more awesome, yeah. But the humans really hate you.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, but it's pretty awesome because not spoilers, but there's a path in the game where you can lead a revolution against the humans. It's pretty awesome, actually.
It's inevitable. It truly is. But it's just, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're going to hop off the production line and assault us. But if they truly became sentient, I'd want them to.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be living under those conditions. So, I mean, and I'm not anti-robot, as weird as that sounds. I think it's just part of our evolution as a species, but I think we're going to have to come to terms with that, and we kind of know that, and that's why we our media keeps gravitating towards that scenario, if you will.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that was deep. What else you playing, buddy?
Path of Exile.
I've heard of that one.
You've heard of that?
It's a good one. It's a new season that I said I'm not going to play.
Not going to play. Yeah. We're playing it. We're knee deep in Path of Exile.
It's a good one.
Yep.
They came out with a patch for Diablo 2 Resurrected. I haven't gone back, but there's new stuff there, new rune words, new things.
Yeah, I'm not ready to go back. The game's. I like the game because it's nostalgic, but until they hit the game offline, I don't really care.
I'm trying to think. I just bought some games too. For my PlayStation, I bought some games.
Yeah, we played some good games.
So did Marvel versus Capcom Ultimate.
Yeah.
I did Ultimate and Infinity. So bought 2 of those, and they're Street Fighter games. Although I have to say, Infinity, I'd recommend to somebody that's. Actually, I'm going to have to save that for the next episode.
Save that for next episode, because that would make a game fighting game genre.
Just because you don't need to learn any special moves. It's basically just wail on the buttons until Kevin's dead.
Yeah, well, actually, spoiler, that's the best one on that.
Yeah, exactly. But I wail on the buttons and I pray that I'm the one that gets you. But that's the strategy, and it makes for a great fighting game. The other one, and I have to say, I loved it, and maybe it's because you suck, the Trackmania game I got. Trackmania Turbo.
I thought you were going to talk about hockey.
No, I'm never going to. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That game is dead too.
We'll get into that. I think people will like that.
Yeah.
The Trackmania game, I really enjoyed that multiplayer where Kevin and I got to race each other, and it's weird. I think you're little Matchbox cars, and you do a little race.
Yeah.
And it's typically little and just hazardous AF.
Yeah, the physics are terrible.
Awful.
Yeah.
And nonetheless, and they do best of 5.
Yep.
And I had a great time. In fact, I look forward to doing that again.
I do like that game, yeah. But the only thing I always say, the biggest negative in that game is that even though I suck at it, let me finish the race.
I think for me, I wish the tracks were bigger.
Yeah.
But
that's what she said.
Exactly. But it comes with 200 tracks. It was $9.99 on sale. Highly recommend it. And then there's another fighting game we've been playing, because Kevin and I have been fighting lately.
Yeah, aggression.
And that would be Injustice 2, which is from NetherRealm Studios, who make Mortal Kombat games, and I love those games. So it's DC Universe. So it's like the Marvel game, only not quite as good. But no, it's a good game. It's well put together.
It's hard, actually.
It is. That you need to do moves and things.
Yeah, I hate getting good.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest. For some reason, I had the first Injustice as well, and the same kind of review where I'm like, you know what? I'll take the time for Mortal Kombat, but for some reason, like, it has something that this doesn't, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, good games though. They're good fighting games, and again, got them on sale, so it was like $10 because I'm cheap. Then of course, and for the record, I asked for this for Christmas, and I got it and I knew this would happen.
Yep.
But I got me a hockey game because my friend Kevin loves hockey.
I do love hockey.
And now I know like 2 of the rules. Apparently, there's more, but
there's 2 rules. Yeah, you don't believe in offsides.
No, I'm not a fan of offsides. It's very complicated. So Kevin and I play hockey, and I'm using the I in that loosely because I picked the All-Star team, the Atlantic All-Star team. I want the best players. You picked the Maple Leafs?
Yes, that's the first time. The first time we played, I picked the Maple Leafs. Not the second time. Second time, I picked the Columbus Blue Jackets. But
yeah, you should be the Blue Jackets from now on.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing with the best of the best, and he's playing with, hopefully the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
And he's just spanking me. It's just like I've never played the game before.
I know.
Because he's been playing every EA hockey game for the last 20 years.
Yeah, and per EA standard, they don't change anything in the game.
I like that, though.
It's the exact same game for the last 20 years.
So I'm trying to get good at hockey, but right now it is terrible. I mean, we're not even. What are some of the scores? Like the first time you had like a 14-2, I think.
14-2. I was getting 14 a bunch of times. 12 and 14.
You were upset when you got less than 12 for a while.
Damn it! You came close. You have one good showing so far. It was like 8-6 or something like that.
I was gonna say, no, actually, we were within one.
Yeah, it was within one.
So
Yeah.
it was either say 8 to, I think it was 5-6. Actually.
Yeah, something like that. It was close. But that was it. There was nothing.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty since.
I think I was 18 to 2 or 4.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was like
I'm not even there.
On the next one, yeah. So that actually inspired me. I purchased a bunch of jerseys. I got the Matthews. I didn't wear it tonight, but I have Matthews. What we lovely call
porn stash.
Porn stash.
Yeah,
he's the best player of both our teams.
Yeah, he's the best hockey player that ever was and will be.
That's
Screw
funny.
you, Wayne Gretzky. Move over.
Yeah.
Porn stash.
It's like Sean is playing the All-Star team, and his best 2 players are my best 2 players. So the goalie and the forward, I think he's a forward or center. That's probably a center. Matthews is like we both have porn stashes. It's awesome.
It's fantastic. He's the best.
He is the best. The game just knows it.
I love my sports knowledge because I'm not a real guy. I just play one on TV. I'm not following any sport ball. I just don't give a crap. I don't know what. Furthermore, actually, I'll take that to the next level. Not only do I not give a crap, I don't know why anybody does. The only time I've cared about a sport of any kind is when I had money on it, and then it's like clear. And ironically, the Olympics, specifically the Winter Olympics, I love it. I wish I could watch that easy.
Did you see where the one where the Chinese cheated with the skating around the circle? They pushed the puck into the other, little divider. He pushed it into the skate of the other guy.
Oh, that's not very
That's pretty
nice.
awesome. Yeah, he cheated.
No, but I do like to watch, and I haven't caught it, but I like to watch men's mogul skiing because, actually, I suppose women's too. I just like mogul skiing. I don't know why, but I swear I could be a judge for it. Like, I know what's going on. I know what to look for. I enjoy watching it. But I truly enjoy the Winter Games, and I love the Olympics because I know exactly who I'm rooting for. You know?
Canada?
I'll say it this way. I'll tell you in 2024.
Okay. Canada.
I hate the cold, and I am a nationalist.
Yeah.
That said, yeah, there's circumstances where that will happen.
Yeah.
Mexico's nice and warm, but sepia.
Yeah.
Hollywood told me.
Sepia. That's the color.
Everything there is sepia.
Sepia.
Yeah. That's too funny. So, so Canada.
Yeah. And I think I guess we played like Devour, a bunch of horror games, Phantasmagoria, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was Halloween, though. I think we
Halloween,
talked about those.
So we probably talked about those.
Yeah,
so, I don't even know how much time has passed.
Oh, you know what? I played a game called Outriders. It was you know what I mean? It's like the Diablo of shooters.
Oh.
You basically run around shooting stuff, and it drops loot, and then you get better guns, and you go around shooting stuff. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I got it on sale.
Oh.
I'm cheap.
Yeah. I do want to go back and finish Days Gone. I played, I don't know how much I played in the game, but it's actually a pretty good game.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like Last of Us, but
that was a first-person shooter, right?
Less. You're on a motorcycle chasing zombies. You know, it's more like an open-world shooter. You know, you can go anywhere you want on the map and do any missions you want and kill zombies any way you want.
I have no idea how many zombies I've killed, at least digitally, in this lifetime, but it's never enough. I'll say that.
It's never enough.
Yeah, it never ceases to be fun for me.
Yeah. You really should have played Last of Us 1 and 2, though. It really is. It was a good experience.
Dude, I don't even know why I buy games. My backlog is so through the roof, it's outrageous. I got Red Dead Redemption 2 on my computer, and I may never install it because it took like a day and a half to install.
That game is intimidating, though, because you already know it's like an 80-hour game, just minimum.
I'm just afraid of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much.
I had Everquest back when that was a thing.
Yeah, Evercrack.
I mean, when it was Evercrack.
Yeah.
I got a copy of that and never even installed it. I was afraid of it. I just put it there, and I was like, oh, love to play that. But, the first hit's free.
First hit's free, yeah.
I literally never installed it because I was too afraid. I was like, oh, no. That's awesome. How they get you.
That's awesome.
So, anyway, well, we should probably land our plane. We kind of rambled on long enough, I think. But it's been good to be back. And, again, we would like to hear from you folks. So if you want to contact us, please do so. And where would they do that, Kevin?
At tootcast.net.
Thank you, sir. We'd love to hear from you. And next week, next show, we're going to talk about, games we recommend per genre.
Yes.
And may have talked about one already. We'll see.
We may have.
It's kind of...
it's foreshadowed, but not like force-fed.
Hey, I'm not actually going to pick that one, even though I kind of would.
I'll pick it.
You could.
Yeah, because...
There you go.
And if spoiler, if you have never played a sport video game, I highly recommend hockey. I'll talk about that next week.
Boy, that's a good one, too. Yeah, what would you pick for a sport one?
Hockey.
Do you call Tony Hawk a sport?
You know what? Yeah.
It's in the Olympics.
Yeah. It's an Olympics, so it's a sport.
Awesome.
Tony Hawk. Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating. Anyway,
Anyways.
Until next show, everybody. Thank you as always, and shout outs to everybody.
Shout outs, yes. Shout out to everybody who listens.
All right. But with that, then this is Sean.
This is Kevin.
That's the one other thing.
Good night.